All right, now we're going to get to hear from the winner of that race. Representative Nicole Malliotakis joins us live this morning. Congresswoman, first off, congratulations on your reelection. How do you feel about the win?
To the people of Staten Island and Brooklyn, that they appreciate the work that we're doing, that we share their values, and that we're going to continue to fight in Washington on their behalf.
And what have you been hearing from your constituents in 2022 that's different from 2020?
Look, people, whether they're Democrats, independents, or Republicans, were saying that they desperately wanted to see a balance restored at our state and our federal level, that public safety was the top issue on their minds. But also speaking to people coming out of the supermarket while I was campaigning, they're very concerned about high food prices, about energy costs, about the impact that not ramping up domestic energy production is having on the cost of living. And so I'm focused on going back to Washington and fighting for what I've been fighting for, which is secure borders, a strong economy, safety in America's cities, supporting our law enforcement, and getting this unsustainable inflationary spending under control to reduce costs on the American people.
Now, it looks like the Republican Party may take the House. If you are in the majority now, what is on the agenda?
Well, look, I think people want to see a balance restored, and that's the only way we're going to get to common sense solutions. Unfortunately, Speaker Pelosi has blocked so many pieces of legislation that we have to address the energy shortage, to address the open borders crisis. We have to get those pieces of legislation passed. And so I think right off the bat, you'll see with the new speaker that we will pass a Border Security for America Act, that we will address issues of public safety, and that we'll also have a parental Bill of Rights that you will see come out of Congress as well, which has become such a big issue in our state and across America.
In the meantime, the Senate still hanging in the balance. We've seen Democrats win in places like Pennsylvania with John Fetterman. What are you hearing from Republican Party leaders about those losses?
Well, look, we always knew that the Senate would be tight, and we still don't know what the outcome will be there. I think at a minimum, we need to have at least the House to restore some sense of balance in this country. I'm hopeful that Kathy Hochul on the state level also sees that we're not just a divided nation. We're a divided state as well, with nearly half of the population saying that they're not happy with the direction that New York is going in. We brought a lot of issues to the forefront during our campaign, particularly public safety, the need to fix the bail law, to really take a second look at those criminal policies that they had put in place. And I hope that she will also reconsider the congestion pricing that is going to hammer people during this time of high inflation and high costs. Look, the reality is that hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers have fled our state. And we maybe would have a different governor today if it were not for those individuals who had left. But the reality is we need a balance at the state and the national level. And I hope we can work in a bipartisan manner, to bring solutions that will make New Yorkers safe, that will address the cost of living issues across the country, and will just bring us more to the center.
Now we have to talk about 2024. Former President Donald Trump is teasing a big announcement next week. If he runs, will you support him in the primaries?
Well, look, I'm not ready to make any endorsement today. But what I will say is that I believe that whether it's President Trump or whether it's Ron DeSantis or whether it be Nikki Haley, I think it's important that the Republicans unite behind a candidate sooner rather than later. We have to give all out effort to try to take back the White House, because quite frankly, every crisis we are facing right now is because of President Joe Biden, from the border to the economic crisis to inflationary spending and to the energy issues. So I hope to see the Republican Party unite behind a candidate, and we'll see who that will be.
So at this point, you're saying that you won't necessarily support Trump in the primaries?
Yeah, we haven't even seen the dust settle yet from last night. But I think obviously he's a contender, as is Governor DeSantis. And I think you have some other folks out there like Mike Pompeo and Nikki Haley who would make great candidates as well. I think the most important thing is for us to figure it out sooner rather than later and stand united behind our candidate going forward over the next 2 years.
All right, Nicole Malliotakis, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.